Yes, another day, another Yu-Gi-Oh product that is too big for my current camera setup. Today is Duel Devastator Day, and it's pretty exciting because this is a very hyped set. Ever since its initial reveal, when we only knew a couple cards, people were going kind of crazy for it, and now it's finally here. This truly is the best product for an aspiring competitive player. I said that in the last video as well, and I meant it. If you are someone that is a casual player, someone that is just getting into competitive play, and you are missing lots of extra deck and side deck cards, this is the set to buy. And if you don't want to buy the entire box, maybe you don't need all of the cards, make sure to just buy these singles on a site like tcgplayer.com. And regardless if you buy these singles or if you buy the box, if you buy it from tcgplayer.com, make sure to use the link in the description below, because part of the sales from that will actually go back into this channel. So if you want to help support me while also getting these great cards, make sure to click that link. Anyway, without further ado, let's open Duel Devastator. The box is kind of cool. It has all the different alternate artworks for all the ghost girls. We can take a look at the back as well. Like I said, this box is way too big for my camera setup because my camera setup kind of sucks, so we won't actually get a good chance to look at the full thing. But here's a sneak preview of what's inside, and I think most of you guys already know this. So we have guaranteed you get all 5 of the Ghost Sisters plus the new one, and then you also have 20 ultra rare extra deck cards and 30 ultra rares for your side decks. You're getting 56 cards out of here. And what makes this set so interesting, by the way, I'm sure many of you already know this, but if you didn't know, the big gimmick of Duel Devastator is that first off, these cards are pretty competitive, and also I can't open it. First off, the cards are very competitive, and I know that some cards are missing some cards. People were like, well, why isn't Phantasma in this set? Well, part of the difficult part of running a card game, collectible card game, is that some of the cards actually do in fact have to be collectible. To all the people that bought Phantasmas when they first came out, if you bought them for like $100, you probably wouldn't buy any more cards if they got reprinted after 6 months. You'd say, okay, I'm just going to wait for the reprint next time, so no one buys the new sets. So while I do, I mean, I feel bad for the people that can't afford those more expensive cards, you probably will just have to wait a little bit longer because Konami as a business, sorry about hitting the camera there, Konami as a business has to protect the investment of the people that are actually buying the most amount of cards. So we pulled Ash Blossom, and then we have the new card, which I actually don't know its name, so we'll take a look in a second. We have Seto Kaiba with Blue Eyes, and we have Pegasus with Toon, Summon, Skull. I believe there are a total of 12 field centers that you can pull out of this particular product, and you pull 4 of them, but all of the actual cards themselves are in fact guaranteed. What makes this set in general so different from other sets, even the ones like structure decks, is that the cards are not meant to be played together necessarily. This really is like a deck building toolkit for players that are looking to get into competitive play. We don't see a lot of products like this, so it's pretty cool. So first off, we have these 6 cards here, the 6 Ghost Sisters, and 5 of them are alternate artworks. So we have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Pretty cool artwork there. We have Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Okay. We have Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is kind of like the main one that people are still excited for. You know, not everyone has this card. Even after a bunch of reprints, it's still out there. We have Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. I just made a video about this card. I think it's really solid. Even with the Orcus hits or the Nightmare Mermaid hit, I think the card still has a lot of potential, especially if Thunder Dragon is really good this format. And we have Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, which I mean, that's a, well, look at that little dog there. That's a much better view of that particular dog. I don't really like the original artwork of this card, but that one's pretty cool. And I actually don't even own this card, so that's kind of neat as well. I think it's like the only card from this whole set I don't actually own yet, so it's kind of neat. And then we have Red Blossoms from Under Root, which is the new card. So those are the Ghost Sister cards. Like I said, these cards are all really cool to include in here, and I think one of the things that this set really appeals to is players that only have like a couple of the cards in the set. Maybe you already owned Ash Blossom, maybe you already own Ghost Ogre, but if you didn't own the rest of these cards, it's a really good purchase. I do want to say the Synchro Monster inclusions in the set are probably the strangest part, and the part that I don't agree with the most. It's fine, but it's just like, who's really playing Allied Justice Catastor in 2019? Probably not even more casual players. I mean, this card used to be good at one point, but picks like this really make me question some of Konami's decisions, but overall I think that's pretty good. Just a real shame here, as I'm noticing that they're putting the Synchro Monsters first thing out of the box, which is kind of a strange decision. So like I said, the entire set is Ultras. We can go through here. So we have Allied Justice Catastor, Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Metaphys Horus, Black Rose Dragon, kind of cool, Clearwing Fast Dragon, Stardust Spark Dragon. Man, this card used to be so good. Protecting your floodgates and stuff was really, really strong. This is probably the best synchro out of all of these ones, just in terms of the decks that it sees competitive play in. That is Scarlet, Red Dragon, Archfiend. This card, I mean, maybe this doesn't matter anymore, but this card was played for a little bit as a side deck option in decks playing Guard Dragon Agripane, because you could special summon it and then burn your opponent for in time or whatever, or for a game just in general. We have Vermilion Dragon Mech. Man, I thought this card was going to be so good. Oh, we have Trishula. Nice. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Pretty crazy. These cards feel like speed dueling cards. I can't quite describe it, actually. It feels like the whole front is glossy. Does anyone else notice that if you've bought these cards yet? So that's it for the synchro monsters there. I guess the whole set's ultra, so we can't just make piles or make spread them out like that. It doesn't quite work. We'll do that, I guess. We'll take them in segments, though. So next up we have the Xyz monsters. We have Abyss Dweller. First non-super rare printing. I mean, we have like a gold ultra rare, but who's going to play that? So this is really cool as an ultra rare. I definitely will be upgrading that in my different decks like Salamangreats. We have number 101, Silent Honor Arc, kind of outdated. Castel. Kind of crazy this card isn't played anymore, even decks that are playing rank 4 monsters. Who would have thought that a rank 4 monster that can out literally anything that's face up would be considered power crept by 2019? I probably wouldn't have been able to guess that. And then we have Tornado Dragon, still played to this day in decks like Luna Lights occasionally, just for popping back row. Only 4 Xyz monsters. See, it seems to me like they should have included more Xyz monsters than synchros, just because people are really still playing Xyz in some decks. But I guess, I mean, they made good choices. I just wish I would have seen more. So we have Underclock Taker, which I believe has a super print, but not an ultra print. We have Land for whatever that guy is, and this card's really cool. A little bit power crept by Psyframe Lambda as just like a generic Link 2 monster, but it's still played from time to time, and having an ultra rare copy is pretty cool. We have Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow, kind of late. Decode Talker Extended. Pretty crazy. Topologic Bomber Dragon. This is actually a card I do not own. I guess I don't own 2 cards out of here. This is actually a pretty cool inclusion for me personally. And then what I feel is like probably one of the most hyped reprints of this entire set, just looking at like the past couple months when people were first talking about this. Saryuja Skulldread. I put it at my number 1 spot in the video earlier, so I think a lot of people are excited to finally pick that card up if you haven't had a chance to yet. And then for the monster cards here, we have DD Crow, really good side card right now. Effect Filler, also a really good card. Gate Blocker. When was this? I think this was considered as a side deck tech against Mystic Mind decks because it negates field spells, but it's like, I don't know whoever's actually doing that. Denko Sekka, obviously really, really powerful card against back row decks. Obviously a card that's very good against the decks that I like to play, but it is still a card that if you are playing like Thunder Dragons, for example, you'll probably want to have this in your collection. Inspector Border. The text did not change on this card at all. Some people are surprised about that. Some people are surprised it didn't make it any clearer, but I think that if you know how to read problem-solving card text and you just go through it slowly, this card actually does in fact make sense. It's just kind of confusing the first time you read it. We have Spell Canceller, which I just realized I reported wrong in yesterday's video. It looks like the updated text only negates spell effects on the field, so I must have gotten that mixed up. So one of the printings of this card originally said it negated spell effects everywhere, but I guess it only negates spell effects on the field. I'll have to go put a pinned comment on that video yesterday. That is my mistake. We have Artifact Lancia as an ultra rare. I'll probably still play with the secret rare, but if you only have commons, this is a nice place to pick up a rarity upgrade. Vanity's Fiend, such a nice card. Even not too long ago, like a year ago, the ultras of this card were from the Duelist Saga, I think. Were still like $10. Not sure what they're at right now. It's still a pretty cool reprint. We have Majesty's Fiend, very good card as well. We have Pankratops, just in case you don't have this card yet. This card actually just received an ultra rare printing in the Megatins, but here it is again, just in case you don't have it. Once again, this really is like something that's meant for people that maybe aren't going to tournaments that much right now, but really want to get into it. And I really wish that something like this would have existed like back when I was a kid, because I would have bought this and it would have been super helpful having all these competitively viable cards in one place. And then we have Gamma Seal as the last card, as the only kaiju. Pretty cool card. This card used to be like a $10 rare, so it's cool that it's gotten so many reprints since then. For the spell cards, we have Mind Control, really good card in a lot of going second strategies. Salamangreats were playing it, Orcas were playing it, some Thunder Dragons were playing it. Just a solid card overall. Then we have Wave Motion Cannon, really cool. First holographic printing besides the Super Bear, that's like $1 million, so that's really nice. Super Polymerization, probably one of the bigger cards people want out of this set. Not everyone has this card. This is a card that has seen a lot of reprints, but still was like $10 for the cheapest one, so having a new reprint that is hollow is really cool. Book of Eclipse, really nice card. Silent Graveyard, that is the new name for Forbidden Graveyard. We've had this name for a little while now, but it's still cool to have a holographic printing of it. And we have Cosmic Cyclone. I like this card a lot. I played this in Salamangreats for a little while. It's good at, I mean, not so much anymore because you don't need to bait the crescendo. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Orcas actually are still a big deck, but that was what it was good for in this last format that we were playing. Baiting crescendo is really, really strong. And we have trap cards in there. I think this is the wrong order here. So we have Call by the Grave, really cool as well. This card just got, sorry, I keep saying really cool. This set is just so awesome though. So we have Call by the Grave. This card recently received a prismatic printing, but if you don't have that one, it's a little bit too out of your price range. You can now get an ultra rare printing for pretty darn cheap. Different Dimension Ground, a fantastic card, like a 1-turn Macrocosmos. Typhoon. This is a card that I always think about including in my decks, and I never find the space, but it's really solid against a lot of back row decks. It's kind of like an MST you can do from your hand during your opponent's first turn. We have Forbidden and Papa Crypta. This card's kind of been power crept by like Get Down, or Get Out I should say, but it's still a really solid card. I've side decked at a lot of events. And Dimensional Barrier. Hey, Pendulums could be like one of the best decks going forward, depending on the ban list here, how that actually turns out with the new format. And if it is like one of the better decks, which I think a lot of people are thinking it might be, then this card would be really strong. Lost Wind. Oh man, I love this card. You guys know how much I love this card. I've had a lot of issues with these super rares bending. Those are from an OTS pack. So I'm definitely looking to swap out my supers for ultras, just so that doesn't happen anymore. And then, oh man, another card I love, Heavy Storm Duster. Fantastic trap cards here. These were actually, it's funny, these are two of the cards I was most excited for because they both only have super rare printing, so having ultras is pretty sweet. Royal Decree, kind of outdated. Anti-Spell Fragrance, really solid card. There can only one first non-super rare printing, so pretty cool. Solemn Strike, just in case you don't have this card. I think most people do. And then we have a Wiretap, another card that, we've got the two trap negators here. This red reboot, a couple of these cards, it seems like they're, you see that? It's like kind of rainbow on the edge there. I think that was like a printing issue that they had there. It's kind of weird looking on the sides. It doesn't show up on the camera super well, but you can kind of see there on the side. That's part of it. Yeah, right there is like a little sliver of rainbow, which is kind of interesting. So we have Wiretap and Red Reboot. Obviously some really strong cards here. So as far as like this set goes, I mean, now you guys have seen the whole thing. I'm sure you guys have seen the set list already. I think if you're looking to pick this up, you need to have like less than half these cards. Otherwise, singles I think are the way to go. Even if you like have like none of these cards, if you only want some of them, I mean, singles are always going to be your best option. It just kind of depends on your own budget. But if you are missing like a lot of these cards, I think that like I said, this is something that I would have loved as a kid or as a budget player, just because there's so many strong cards for so many different interactions in this one box that just buying 3 of these and having like a playset of all these cards could be really helpful to some deck builders that don't have all these cards in their collection yet. Anyway though, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video going through Duel Devastator. If you want to buy any cards from this set, or if you want to buy the set itself, make sure to use that link in the description below. That helps me out a ton. I'll see you later though. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.